Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome to another show on the Sports Music and Life podcast. This is a show I've been meaning to do for a very long time, and that's a little podcast before the actual main event, which is going to be Moses Itauma and Dillian Whyte. I'm not going to give my prediction who wins because I think with a lot of people you can sit and argue so many ways who can win and who can't win. Is Dillian got the experience? Is Moses gonna come out like when AJ come out, and this is going to be his big win and big fight? Is it too early for Moses Itauma? And this is why it's a win-win for Moses Itauma, because if he wins, bang, he's beaten a very top fighter. Albeit he's not what he was a couple of years ago, but he's still very dangerous and he still can be very good. All depending what Dillian Whyte shows up tonight. And if he loses, then if he wins, he's beaten a top fighter, and if he loses, he's lost to a top fighter. So it's a win-win, and it could have been too early. And I can guarantee you right now, if he loses tonight, Frank Warren will shoehorn in about something about AJ. That's his get out clause every time he's AJ, isn't it? So get over AJ, mate. Right, at the end of the day, he didn't sign for you, sign for Eddie Hearn. The rest is history, isn't it? So that's my little rant over about Frank. I love Frank. I think Frank's got all the top fighters in the world at the moment. In Britain, all the top fighters in Britain. Sorry, I say that. But sometimes I think he talks a load of nonsense, and I think a lot of people jump on the bandwagon for that too. But anyway. That's what I say. My rant's over now. So anyway, let's get back into it about Dillian Whyte. So Dillian Whyte is a very good fighter. He's only lost to 3 top fighters, and that is AJ, which was earlier on in the career for both men. Povetkin, who he was well and truly beaten, and then he got knocked out. And Tyson Fury, which by the time he fought Tyson Fury was a bit too late. I think if that's a few years earlier, he would have done it. And I always said this to my friends, that Dillian Whyte would have bashed Wilder up, and he would have been a world champion. I think he would have been the one that would have exposed Wilder, because it was over 1,000 days. I can't remember specifically how many days it was, but it was over 1,000 days that he had to wait to get that title shot, which was absolutely disgusting. And the WBC used to be my favourite belt, but after that, it went off me because they're a bit corrupt, as far as I'm concerned. And he should have fought Wilder before all them other people fought Wilder, because I'm telling you now, he would have bashed Wilder up and he would have been a world champion, Dillian Whyte. But he come up against a Tyson Fury who was banging form at the time, and do you know what? I didn't realise how much, he's a big boy, Dillian Whyte, but when he was in there with Fury, he seemed very small, didn't he? Like in size, in height and in size, obviously. So yeah, anyway, so Dillian Whyte is a top-class fighter, and I think a lot of people writ him off here. And now, all depending on what Dillian Whyte turns up, because if you've got the Dillian Whyte who's going to turn up and throw wild punches, I think Moses will outboxing completely, because Moses has got the better boxing skill out of both of them. I think he's got more better abilities in the boxing ring than Dillian, but Dillian can still box and do well, and he's got a good hard punch, a good hook on him, and if that lands on Itauma, and this is the other thing, his chin's untested. This is why I'm stuck in the middle. If we'd seen him been tested before this fight, then we could have a bit more of an argument about it. But this is a very untested fight for Moses. He's fought people that he's beaten very easily. His last fight, he showed just how good he was. This is what I love about Moses Itauma. He just gets out of range of the punches, and he just slips and slides them and moves it, and just a couple of steps out of range. And that's the class to him. And if he can do that tonight, then I feel that he could beat Dillian Whyte with that. But Dillian Whyte goes in there and boxes, how everyone knows Dillian Whyte can box. Then this is going to be a hard, tough night for Moses Itauma. And not only that, Dillian can carry power to the 12th round and stop you. I mean, I can't remember exactly what round it was, but that second fight, Derek Chisora winning. And then bang, out of nowhere, he landed that big punch. And that is heavyweight boxing, as everyone knows. And it's very well broadcasted out there. So this is, so it's a difficult one to call, because there's unanswered questions from Moses Itauma. And it all depends on what Dillian's going to turn up. And also, I've read today too, that if Usyk vacates the WBO belt, then these two, the winner of this, which I don't think is right for Dylan, maybe more, but not for Moses Itauma. I don't think it's right that he could get a shot at the WBO title against Parker. And let's not forget, Dillian Whyte has beaten Josie Parker before, and if that Dillian Whyte turns up, then it's going to be a very tough night for Moses Itauma. So, yeah, I think I covered everything with that. Like I say, Moses Itauma's got a better boxing ability and skills that can go on to win this fight for him, whereas Dylan is a top-class fighter. But is it Dillian Whyte coming to the end of his career because of all them wars? He's been in so many wars too. So we'll see tonight. And obviously in the next podcast that I do, it'll be about the fight and the undercard. The undercard's got Nick Ball on there. Everyone likes to see Nick Ball. Adelaide, he's fighting Hergovich, and I can see Adelaide winning that fight. He's under the great Adam Booth, who's one of the top-class trainers. He guided David Haye from cruiserweight and heavyweight before Haye retired. I believe the last fight was the Chisora fight. Them two worked together. So, he had George Groves in his early stages. He's had some great fights. He's got Josh Kelly, who's a good fighter. So, he's a guy who's one of the top coaches in Britain, if not the world. Yeah, so good undercard. I don't know much about the others, if I'm honest with you, but they're the ones that have stood out for me that I've seen so far. So we'll see how that goes, and I will. I'll do what I normally do after the fight. The next podcast, I'll go round by round and give them my views and what I thought on the rounds and all that. So anyone that watches the podcast normally, if not, you can like and subscribe. Go to my channel. I've done a few unboxing, and I do also do the music one. But this weekend's going to be about the boxing. So, yeah, thank you for listening to another podcast. Like I say, like and subscribe. Give us that tick and the thumbs up and all that nonsense. So thank you very much for listening. Cheers.